Good morning and welcome to my garden, or actually today we're in the kitchen. The weather's not cooperating. And I picked up a bug. I was doing some cement work and I had to go into the city. For me, it's a big city, 20,000 people. Most of you are going to say, boy, that's a village. No, I'm just a small town barbarian. 10 people is a good sized village for me. uh, I picked up a bug and you don't want it. It's not fun. But while I was in, I did my yearly big shopping spree. Now, normally, uh, I'll spend 5, 10, maybe $15 a month at on groceries. I don't do much at the shops. Uh, we don't buy a lot of seed either. And the neighbor, they're off on a trip. They're going to pick up a seed for next year. I think there's 8 things on the list for seed, and that'll be what I'll buy for next year. But we talk about, you know, and it's in life. We need to stop taking inventory once in a while. Look at things. And I spent some time doing that. I've been gardening since, I guess, 71 and 1971. So I've been gardening a few years. And, where am I at today? Mistakes that I've made over the years. Uh, we'll start with that. Here we have 2 squash. They look pretty close to the same, but they're different. They taste different. I have no idea what they are. Uh, and I've been growing these for over 30 years, these 2 varieties, without knowing what they actually are. I made a mistake, planted the seed I'd saved, didn't record what I had. Well, I'll remember it. Well, they're both good squash. They're not the same as probably what they were when I started with them, because they've been growing them for many, many years, selecting to what I want. This one tastes similar to a butternut. This one is more like what do they call it? That one they call the Cinderella pumpkin. It's an oranger slash. It's just a different taste. What are they? You know, this is not the same as that. It doesn't get near that big, and I never grew it. That variety, but what is it? I don't really know. Doesn't matter unless you are wanting to know what I'm growing. We can get accident seeds. I've been growing this one for right at a neighborhood of 30 years. Seed came in a package of acorn squash. It was a seed that was hung up in a machine. They packed the package. I know the seed supplier. He don't know what it is. He says some kind of a Japanese squash. He says the only thing that comes close. He says we have had at that time 3 varieties that it could possibly have been. Stores well, tastes wonderful, but it's a little squash. This one goes all the way back to my childhood. It was a butternut. I got seed from my grandfather. It was in my first garden. They were a lot larger back then. I have selected for the smaller size and storage. I don't need a big one. Why should I grow a big one I'm going to throw away? 2 meals out of this squash is perfect. You save your own seeds. You can change things to suit you. You're not stuck with just what they're offering. You can select and grow, develop something for yourself. Onions, we have over 2 bushel of these onions. They're storing well. Enough onions for the year. We also have our long onions, bunching onions, etc. We have all kinds of other onions to go with it. And I use a lot of onion. but we know we'd have enough onion. And the same is true of our garlic. I have several bags of garlic like this. This is the ones I'm using. We have a year's supply of garlic. We won't be purchasing garlic anytime soon. I've been growing and using this Chestnut Red for about 15 years. I haven't bought any garlic seed. We don't grow pinto beans. They had, the place where I go had their bulk new crop. They said new crop pinto beans. I'm not sure where they got them, if they are new crop, but anyway. We're able to get our split pinto beans for the year, put them away in gallon jars. I have several gallon jars of these, enough for the year. Picked up another bag of coffee. This is the one I've been using on. It's to right there. I have enough coffee for the year, enough tea for the year. Plus I have the teas that I harvest myself. We're covered. We have several gallons of these long beans, several gallons of these yellow squash. We have several gallons of the courgettes dried. We're in good shape. Peanuts and sweet potatoes. These are from last year. They were ones I purchased, a bag. I decided to try to grow peanuts this year. We haven't made the harvest yet. We don't know. Looks like going to be a pretty good crop of peanuts. Sweet potatoes have a lot of vines. We don't know what's under them yet. So there's always variables where we don't know, but we can make our best guesstimate. I'm guessing there'll be plenty of peanuts. Should be an overabundance of sweet potatoes, but we know where we're at. Been working on this kitchen, and neighbor stops, says, "You've been working on that house for 30 years." Yeah. Started out was 130 square feet. I made 800, and we're not going to get any bigger. It's plenty big. But well, you've been working on it all these years. Yeah. I've got less than 10,000 US in this house. That's not counting the land, that's just in the house. Why? Because I've taken my time, I've taken inventory and stock of what I have and worked from there. The windows came from demolition. The sink, the countertop, the bathtub, they all come from demolition projects. A lot of the studs came from demolition. The insulation was new, the drywall, some of it was new. Hard to salvage drywall. The subfloor either came from demolition or it came from salvaged trees. And that takes a lot of time when you start salvaging. Take a tree, make a log out of it, you saw the log, you dry the lumber, you work it down, mostly done with hand tools, like this cabinet here. You can't see it very good. This one here. Or this top. You work it down with hand tools, and you make your finished product. You saw the log, there's a year, 2 years to drying the lumber, then you can go on to the next stage. It takes a lot of time. You have to know what you have before you start a project, otherwise you end up short. And you work around your limitations of what you have. In life, that's really everything with life is. We have our limitations. We have to know where we're at, where we're headed, and where we've been. So we know, if you know where you've been, you know where you're at, you get a good idea of where you're headed. These projects, you can work on them that way. It may take time, but with it's important that we stop, take the time, take inventory of where we're at, see what we've got. I want you all to have a wonderful day. Try to avoid getting this bug. So stay healthy. Go out, get your hands dirty, have some fun, and above all, keep growing.